Had you ever had a change in your career?
Yeah.
All right.
Kinda.
Right?
Yeah.
I've had several. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had several.
Yeah.
Had several. Yeah. I started out going to school, first of all, for computer science. That's number one. Got my degree though. Worked in it for a little bit. I want to say like not even a year, not even 2 years. But during the time I went to school, ever since I was like 18, give or take, I worked in pharmacy for I worked in pharmacy for over 10 years. You could check that out with my pharmacy license because it tells you from when I first had my pharmacy license. But that was because I was a full-time student, so I was using the pharmacy money to pay for my education. But I didn't pursue pharmacology. So after I got my computer science degree, I worked in mostly like manufacturing, I guess you can kind of say, but engineering side. I worked as an engineer technician for like the longest time. So I was an engineer tech to an engineer tech to an engineer tech. And then I became where I am now, right? And while I was an engineer tech, I still did some computer science with my degree. Did some programming underneath some companies, a lot of debugging mostly. I noticed that. But where I am now, from what you would think from all that stuff, I was also a mechanic, is that I'm a manufacturing production supervisor for a lithium technology company. That's where I am now. I would have never saw that years ago. That's currently where I am right now. Yeah.
That's such a big turnaround. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'll add more to that about the okay, so this is how I ended up landing where I am now. Was prior before the company I am now, the one previous company right prior before that one was because they were having this whole bunch of like people like getting either laid off or quitting because of COVID, right? And when the company started to pick back up, I don't want to disclose companies, so I'm just going to call it the company. When the company started to pick back up, they had this position for supervisor to like, because now they need more supervisors because there's more people. And I was just a regular engineer technician. I didn't really care about all that stuff. Like I didn't want to be supervisor or anything like that, right? But majority of the people that was there, and I'm talking about maybe 120 employees, so like give or take 120 employees, they voted me to become the supervisor. I didn't.
Voting system?
No, they went to the manager, which is a step above the supervisor, right? Mm-hmm. And they all nominated me, basically saying that like we would wish for K to be the supervisor.
But it's not like a voting system. They just kind of randomly went up to him and like, hey, we want this guy to be manager.
Yeah,
supervisor.
Yeah, it was just like that. I didn't want it at all, but after like talking to majority of the people there, so majority of them said that like my ideals and the way I treat and talk to everyone and how much I've taught people because of the language, believe it or not. Majority of them were Colombian and Dominican and Puerto Rican, and the other half was Cambodian, right? But no matter which language you pick, right? I can't speak Spanish, but Google Translator can. So trust me, that thing goes a long way because communication could make a really good person when it comes to explaining something to them. Mm-hmm. Plus pictures too. Pictures really help, right?
It's like this. See this?
Yes. I saw. Yeah, I would show them picture. Yeah. Like, see, good.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Gracias. Okay. Yeah. But just the way that I am with people, a lot of people looked at me as like I have all the good characteristics as a leader, right? But what they don't know is I don't want to lead people. I don't want to like to be up there ever again after, I've told my friends this story about when you're high up top, it's not the best place in the world. And that was just between like a circle of friends, right? I rather just live low, my low key life, and just go and test machines all day for 8 hours a day. But anyways, when the manager came and talked to me and they told me everything that these people said, and I'm talking like over 120 of them, like 60 of them went to go and talk to him privately about it. And when I overheard it about like how they want to maintain the peace and the work environment, and they feel as if there was another person who comes in, they most likely will destroy the work environment that all of us have created. But they said that like, but he's the glue that sticks us all together. And then I was like, that's touching. I never thought of it, but majority of them before I started working there, they never really got along or talked to each other. But ever since I got there, I made them all talk to each other and all hung out with each other. And I'm very friendly and welcoming with all of them. And then they all just like the group started to mix around and everyone started to work together like as friends. And then some of us, we will go and hang out at like the bars and drink and outside of work. Like we created this great friendship. And then when I became supervisor for them, it never changed. Like they kept the peace like they thought. So I did that only to keep the peace, but it came at a cost because my mental health was like, to be a supervisor. After that, it was like I had 180 employees. After that, 180 employees with I'm pretty sure it was 8, right? With 8 team leaders, right? But I still managed to be fair and still kind of keep majority of the people happy because you can't make everyone happy. And it stayed really well. I left to go to another company where now it's more manageable. Now I have about 40, 60 people underneath me. And it's more peaceful for me. But when I went to that job, right, the job that I am now, I applied for an engineer tech. But they saw my previous work experience.
Resume?
Yeah, my resume. And they're like, wait, you were a supervisor before? And they
Dude,
were
you're
like,
overqualified.
Yeah, and then so they said I was overqualified, but they said, but your supervising skill we actually wanted. And I was like, all right, sure. Well, they let me think about it, and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can do both jobs just fine. So fast forward to now, I'm the supervisor, right? I'm also at nighttime. I'm also the facility guy. I'm also the IT guy. I'm also the engineer tech. I'm also HR. And I'm also the safety guy. All in one.
Jesus.
During my
Christ,
shift.
dude.
I'm all of it. So whenever something happened during my shift, I'm the main person they have to report to. For everything, the facility, the engineering problems, the IT problems, the HR problems, such as the direct deposit and stuff like that. And also when it comes to production, I'm also the one they have to report to. I'm all that during my shift, which is okay. I manage it just fine.
But do you have a manager in that same building, or is it just you as like the higher up?
I'm the only higher up. I'm the only one.
Wow,
I'm the only.
that explains a lot
yeah.
then. Yeah.
And then the rest below me is team leads,
Mm.
but they're just team leads, and you just lead your team. Yeah, on that whatever one line that you're running.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but all the other stuff, I manage it. But luckily, so like jack of all trades that I can handle it just fine. Or I'll just look at the problem, and be like, it seems like a first shift problem. Let me write up an email.
I'm on the same boat. So actually, let's see. The job I'm at has multiple roles within that facility. And a lot of the roles that you get are technically promotions because you do get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from like just basic salesperson. Then I became a vendor VPL. So it was my job to like just focus on that specific brand, right? And then I moved up from there. So now my current role is like semi supervisor. It's like it's like putting your foot in the door to become a supervisor, which I didn't know at the time. I thought it was just me focusing on like this one specific brand as well, right? I'm just gonna say it. It's Microsoft. So my job is just focusing on Microsoft stuff, right, and teaching people. But that's the reason why it's like a foot in the door kind of position.
Yeah,
because you're teaching people, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I have coworkers listening to this, so I'm gonna let out all the frustrations out for you guys.
My
One,
coworkers listen to this too. But
yeah,
go ahead.
one, cross training is a fucking scam. Oh, cross training, the way they look at it is they're gonna give you minimum wage, but give you 3 different positions, not just one within that company, right?
Yeah.
And it's super fucking scummy. It's the biggest scam I've heard because it's kind of like what you said. Why pay more when you can have someone do like 2 or 3 other things?
My cross training is not a scam, but the reason why I promote cross training and them learning different lines is to promote teamwork.
Yes,
that's why I do it. But but I can see from your angle, I can kind of see
that's fine.
why.
But when you go into this job at minimum wage and they're training you to do almost everything in the store, right?
Yeah.
That's when I have a problem with. Like, it's like you're overworking these kids, and there's kids. Yeah. Mind you, a lot of the workers that they just hired because it's holiday season.
Yeah.
They're these kids who are still in high school or just getting out of high school, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is their first job. And they're overworking them. They're giving them crazy hours and with little pay. And it I don't know, it drives me wild. And everybody sees it. But managers don't care. Managers just care about our performance so they can get that bonus at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. So everybody, I'm kind of like Kay, where everybody looks to me in my department for leadership.
Yeah.
Because our supervisor, which is one of my close friends right now, he doesn't really show up there. He usually just goes to the department, says like 1-2 things like, hey, do this, do that, and he just leaves.
That's what I do, though.
Yeah. And then everybody just looks to me because, one, I'm very sociable. I'm really easy to talk to. And all the new hires that they get, they send them straight to me. Literally send them straight to me because I'm someone who very patient and teaches people really well. Like, I know what to say. And in my mind, I'm like, isn't this the supervisor's job to teach the new people? Like, why are you guys sending them to me?
I train all the new recruits and do the orientation. Yep. But that is because that's the supervisor's role. And then I coach them and I teach them, like, and I'm very patient with them. Then because you want them to build, like, so I'm big on this. There are a lot of old school people who look at numbers, right? Their managing style is all about numbers. My managing style is all about the people. I'm really big about the people. So I taught them about, like, I mean, they're probably going to kill me if they ever see this, but I'm very big on, like, you're here for 8 hours, so make it difficult for yourself. You can work hard all you want, but if you only make X amount an hour, that doesn't get you anywhere. But I'm very big on quality, not the quantity. Focus on doing it right, not focus on how much can you produce out. So, I mean, they probably won't nail me on there because everyone knows that about me. So I'm very, like, very easy on how they will learn, and I teach people about there's learning curves. People have a different pace and stuff like that, and you will make a mistake and stuff like that. So that's part of a supervisor and coaching them. And then you also have to coach the leads too, the team leads, the leader of the group, and how like, leadership is hard. Not everyone is born to be a leader. That word is very, very true.
Yep.
But you have to coach them on, like, taking ownership of things and stuff like that. It's difficult. But as a supervisor, they look up to you for all that. All the employees, they look up to you for that. It's like, okay.
Yep. And mind you, we have like 4 supervisors. None of them want to do the coachings for the new hires. None of them.
I love coaching.
Now they, now they made some bullshit new position in our store. It's called sales specialist. That shit never existed until now, and they're sending all the new hires to those so-called sales specialists. It's just random employees at that certain department. That's all it is. They're not experts. They're not experts in anything.
So what they do?
They're just people who've been there for like 2 to 3 years. That's it. Yeah, and they're sending all the new hires to them. They're called the sales specialist. And I hear this, I see this, and I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah, I even tell the new hires, I have no shame. Like, I tell the new hires, like, I hate coaching. I hate coaching. I hate teaching people new hires, new stuff, but I'll do it because they told me to. Like, it.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it's so fucked up seeing supervisors not do their work.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first started there, the supervisors were the ones that coached me. The supervisors were there that I had to shadow. Now it's like, let's get, this random employee someone to hire it. Yeah. Because they don't want to deal with it.
I'm very different in the last company and this company that I am now. The like, let's say taking out the trash, right? Simple tasks like that. The small little tasks, or even places that people don't like working in, like little stations, you'll see me there. I'm not ever at my desk. That's the one thing people always notice is like, and then they ask me, is like, why is the boss working? That's what everyone always wonder. Like they see me work a lot. Yeah. They see me work a lot, and they always go, why is he just not working? And I'll just look at them and be like, I'm bored. But it's because I like working and doing mundane things and stuff like that. Of course, I'll pause it and then do my supervisor responsibility. But then, to be honest with you, I bang it out so fast.
Yeah.
Right. That I have like 6 hours, 5 hours left for the rest of the day to do whatever the hell I want. Right. So I just work, and then my numbers go up and stuff like that. And I take out the trash. I'll like go into the boys' bathroom and like throw out the trash bag full of napkins, wet ham napkins, or whatever. And then, or I'll start to organize the boxes. And these boxes are heavy, right? And I'll start organizing the boxes so it'll be easier for when they go and grab it, and like all different lines. And I'll go and I'll inspect the work, even though that's the lead's position, right? And I'll walk and I'll just check on people and then like say how they're doing, if there's anything like they need. And I will just sit there and I'll just fiddle with the line because I know the whole entire line, like all of the whole entire building. And when I do mess something up, right, I would even like make it known that the team that even I mess it up, right? And it's to me, this is my mentality. People respect the general more if the general is in the front of the line during a war. They do not respect the general if he's in the back shouting orders. So when they see me doing the hard jobs, the hard stations and stuff like that, majority of the people there, they respect me more. It's like, this supervisor is working. He's not even like, doesn't make a fuss about being in a hard station or really mundane type of work, exhausting type of work. He just sits there. He just does it. And I'm not, and they know, everyone knows he's not supposed to be working. But that's the way they look at it. But the way I look at it is, yeah, I'm bored. But at the same time, it's like, look, we're here for 8 hours. Why make it difficult? When I do the small little mundane things, they get happy because like it makes their life easier. So for an example, I'll tape up boxes because they hate doing it because they can't tape up the boxes fast enough because the people produce it so damn fast. But then I'll have like 10 boxes ready for them. And they're like, I already have the foam and everything, or what the heck? And then like, and then they get to stand around sometimes for like 15 minutes here and there. And they're like, okay, this job is easy because they're not doing the annoying part. All right. And that's the environment that people like when they're working with me. The supervisor is actually working. My leads don't work. It's backwards. My leads don't work. Majority of my leads don't sit. They just man the station. That's it. That's all they do. Because they were told prior before me, they were told not to. But I changed that environment where I make the leads. You got to do something because you can't just stand there and just look pretty all day. That's my job. That's what I told them. But even I'm doing something. You should do something. Yeah.
That's true. So all the people in my department respect me. They're like, Jay, you could be manager. Like you have the mentality, you have the personality to be a manager. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. Because I know for a fact, if I get a supervisor or manager position at that place I work at, the work culture is so fucking toxic and corrupt.
It's a lot.
It's going to change.
When I came into both companies, it was so much to change.
Yeah.
But I've changed it. Yeah. Matter of fact, majority of my team leads that I coach, they're supervisors now at other companies. And they took what I taught them to other companies.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm in a spot where I don't want to go any higher than where I am now because I know that I'll be stuck and I'll be even more stressed out. Because the way I work there, yeah, it has higher morals than what the supervisors are looking for because they actually bitch at me whenever I like try and tidy up the place. Believe it or not,
Yeah, I
I
believe it.
literally
'Cause
try
they
my
probably
best.
say it's someone else's job, right?
Yes,
I knew
exactly.
it.
And
I knew they would say
and
that.
here's the stupid thing. Let me tell you a quick story so we can move on. I had an instance last year where 20 to 24 of our computers were outdated. Like they weren't even supposed to be on the floor for months.
Mhm.
I'm talking like 6-7 months ago, right? And it's the warehouse's job to change that, right? I'm not supposed to touch Plano, but I can do the Plano in literally one day. But every time I try and change a laptop or a computer to a new one, a supervisor or a leader sees it and they're like, Jay, what are you doing? Stop. Like, don't do that. Like, it's not your job. You're supposed to like do the blah, blah, right? I tell warehouse, radio silence. They don't do it.
Yeah.
It got
I'll
so
get
bad.
to it.
Yeah, it got so bad to a point where I actually had some bigwig Microsoft guys visit the store. Guess what happened?
He audited and found out they were outdated.
Leadership got chewed out.
Yeah.
They're like, these 20 to 24 computers have changed 6 to 7 months ago, and you guys haven't done it.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I showed the email I sent to the warehouse. They couldn't say shit. Like I had evidence that I actually did let them know. They didn't do anything.
Mhm.
And they didn't want me changing it, even though I'm the Microsoft specialist there. That just goes to show you, like, the system there, like the work culture there, it's all fucked up, man.
It takes a while to change that.
I could have done it all in one day. Matter of fact, all of the laptops, computers, they got changed in one day. It only took one fucking day.
1 day to go.
It's super easy. I could have done it. I wanted to do it, and they didn't let me. I think it's so fucked up. So that's the reason. So right now I'm in a position where I don't want to go any higher. Like it's time for me to jump ship and find something else.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Michael, you changed. We didn't answer Mike. Yeah, Michael. What about you? I know you had.
I've worked in a bunch of different fields.
Mhm.
I first started off in retail. I worked in retail stores. Then from retail, I became like a driver. I just driving, like picking up and dropping off stuff for a few years.
Mhm.
I worked in construction for a few years after that.
Damn, you were everywhere.
After doing construction, I went into banking. I worked as a teller for a few years. And after being a teller, I became like a banker, so I had to like open accounts and stuff.
Mhm.
Then from that, I moved on to online banking, which was kind of like a mixture of like, it was more like teller type work, but it was just more like customer service because it was online, so it was always just assisting customers over the phone. Let me see what else. I did that. Then after that, I went into like, I did logistics work, like administrative work. And I got to travel for a bit as well.
Mm.
Got to learn the in and outs of like the warehouse and everything. Now I'm at a place where we build and put together industrial sized microwaves, basically. Essentially is what it is. Basically, there's a conveyor belt. The food goes in one place. The cavity heats up in the middle of it, and then it goes out the other way, warm or defrosted. So I learned to do like wiring and soldering and a bunch of shit like that. Yeah, I've worked like I've been all over the place.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, and then I was a supervisor at the online bank too, so I know what that leadership type role is like. Even in my weekend job now, I work as a dispatcher, and like there's a new position that just opened up called shift leader, and then a lot of them are telling me that I should go for it, but I'm like contemplating whether I should or not. Because some of them are like a lot of the drivers there, because it's all like when you start working there at this parking lot, it's basically it's a parking lot where people come in when they travel, they park their vehicles there, then the shuttle buses will take them to the airport. So I dispatch all the drivers, and a lot of the managers want them, like all the dispatchers, to be like very like ruling over the drivers like with an iron fist.
You don't want to put the hammer down.
Yeah, that's how the managers want dispatchers. But I went into it with a different approach. It's like, you make my life easy, I'll make your life easy.
Yeah,
it's about having that mutual respect. So a lot of the drivers will listen to me when I tell them to do stuff. I'll listen to, And if they need to leave early, like if they come in and like ask if they could leave early because they have something, whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So
yeah, same with me.
yeah, so I like it's all about having the mutual respect. So like a lot of the drivers that I work with, they all listen to me. None of them give me any problems. I've never had any problems with any of their drivers. But all the managers want you to rule like with an iron fist, and like
same with as every other company. But all my underlings, they know that I'm most likely going to defend them.
Yeah,
because I've told them, because the way I look at it is like I have this mentality that you're so replaceable, right? Like I can get fired tomorrow. Even as high up as I am right now, and I'm pretty damn high up in the corporate ladder, right? But I'm always going to look at it as like, how do I say this? I don't like the way I look at it, it's just like kind of like how you is that like, let's say for you is like I give you a number, right? And then let's say for you is like you have to drive 10 people, right? And then I'm gonna turn around. I don't care how you drive the 10 people. I don't care how long it takes, right? And all that stuff, as long as you get that done within the time frame that you're supposed to, right? And I won't ask any questions how you do it. At least you got it. There's only problems when you didn't get to what I asked you. Then, so that's how all my employees and all my leads know that's how I work. I don't care how you get it done, right? I don't care what the people are doing and how their performance is. That's you guys' like roles, right? I'm gonna give you a number, and then you guys get to that number. Is when you don't get to that number is when then we'll talk about it and see what exactly that you need improvement on, or how you're setting it up wrong, etc. So for that, the culture is so lenient that it creates a pace that the whole team works together in unison. That they know the correct pace to even milk out some areas that they can relax to get to that final number. And I always set realistic numbers. It's nothing like super crazy. And I didn't know that if it's like a super crazy number, that we will run multiple lines in order just to get that number. But the whole shift, that's the funny thing, not even a team, the whole shift work in unison with each other, right? To help each other out because they know, no, that's what the boss wants. He just wants us to just focus on getting this number. That's why we're not supposed to do certain things, but they know that like the boss doesn't care. He just wants that number. Just get that. He doesn't care how we get it.
Yeah. Because
when I mean like don't care, that means like let me explain this. If your break is 30 minutes, right, and you leave 5 minutes early to go warm up your food, right, and you come back 2 or 3 minutes late, right, I don't want to hear it. I don't care that you took a longer break. Like when I don't care, it means that I'm not gonna be the asshole, put the hammer down, and be like, no, you have to take an exact 30-minute break. If you leave 5 minutes early, then you have to come back. No, if you leave 5 minutes early, you have to come back 5 minutes earlier, right? Like that type of hammer down, or make sure you wear your safety stuff, like like that type of hammer down. It's like, no, I'm gonna be like, okay, drive me these 20 people, but then this time, all right, it's like that. I don't care how you do it.
Yeah, and then so like a lot of the drivers like they gotten used to me because I'm very chill and I get along with everyone. So everyone's like, yeah, you should apply for it. You should ask for it because they're like, because the shift lead position is the same days that I already work, and it's basically the same hours. So everyone's like, oh, you should know, you're already here. You might as well just you're better off grabbing it. But I'm on the fence. There's just like with Jay, there's it's a toxic environment. There's like a lot of stuff going on and there's drama. So whenever people tell me the drama, I just find it funny.
I know. You know how much gossip I hear? And here's the thing. I worked with Latinos.
And the funny thing is there's like, and then there's like, there's drivers that'll do certain things that they're not supposed to, but when someone does it to them, they snitch them out and shit like that. And so an incident happened like that, and I just found it funny for the person that snitched out the other person, and he just because of that he made things worse. But yeah, what was I gonna say? There's something else I was gonna add. Yeah, I don't mind training people either, because when I was a bank teller, the manager always would have the new hire shadow me, and I'd explain things to them like in detail. I'd always ask them, "Do you have any questions?" So I don't mind teaching people. Like even like teaching people how to drive, I have patience because I taught my younger brother how to drive.
Yeah, I taught a lot of people how to drive. I'm still teaching people how to drive now. Actually, now that I think about it, I have my nieces and nephew left to teach.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've worked. I've done a lot,
Yeah,
bunch of different fields.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But management, I will say, it is not for everyone.
Yeah,
It's hard.
you have to know how to deal with the people.
Yeah,
Yep.
it really is a people type of thing,
Yeah,
and a little bit of politics. Well, where I am, it's a bit of politics where I am. All right, moving along.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I just completely forgot. So let's just move along.
Okay. Let's see. Who sent me this?
Last one.
What color is your undies? Who?
That's very straightforward.
Give me 1 second.
I think mine's gray.
Mine's red.
Mine's gray.
Oh, mine's gray. Mine's gray. I checked.
Mine is red.
Jesus Christ. That was fast.
No, because I was scrolling down, like, one going in order, but I was like, wait a minute, who the hell sent me this? you people, man. All right.